Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Griffin Rock Firehouse Headquarters from the show Transformers Rescue Bots. This is the amount of space required to make the headquarters. And here are all of the materials that we will need to build it. Begin by placing 7 red concrete extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then extend to the left by 1, up 1, and then left 1. Then extend up by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Extend to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then down by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then extend to the right by 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then extend up by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then right by 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then extend down by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then left by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend down by 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then extend right by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then extend all the way down to the ground. Then, once you hit the ground, extend to the left by 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We then want to place a row of 5 light grey concrete extending left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a grey concrete on the end, then a red, then a grey, and then 5 light grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a grey, red, grey, 5 more light grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then place a grey concrete. The end result of that should look like this. Let's add some details. Extend each of the grey concretes up by 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the end of this right side here, replace this red concrete with a grey, and then of course extend it upwards. Once you've done that, we now want to connect each one of these 3 pairs together at the top by placing alternating light grey and grey concretes. Like this. Then extend the 2 rows of grey concrete forwards that we have on the left and right side, and the top mixed row of grey concretes as well, leaving the bottom row of light grey concrete alone. With that complete, we now want to extend up the bottom center light grey concrete, join it up to the top, extend it left and right, take the middle row, extend it left and right also, and then fill in between the gaps using cyan terracotta, and do this for each and every garage door. With that complete, we are now going to fill in between the gaps using red concrete, and then we will join the red concrete together across the top. like this. With that complete, we now want to come to the left garage door, locate this light grey concrete, line up behind it with the red concrete, and then extend this concrete upwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then right, up, right, up. We now want to come to the opposite side, so the right garage door, locate the light grey concrete, the red behind it, extend up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then left, up, and then extend over to the left to give us this shape. What we then want to do is extend the row of red concrete here backwards by 2 using light grey concrete. So 1, 2, and we just want to extend across this gap. Place red concrete all the way around the light grey concrete like this, and then we want to extend the archway shape of red concrete backwards to line up with the back row of red concrete. With that complete, we are now going to come to the left side of the back row of red concrete here and place a white concrete. Next to it, 2 cyan glass, white concrete, 3 stone brick stairs, 1, 2, 3, then a white concrete, 2 cyan glass, white concrete. We now want to place 2 additional rows of stairs on top of the center row of stairs. Place white concrete all the way around these stairs like this. Then we want to place a horizontal row of white concrete on the right side here with glass on top of the 2 white concretes that correspond with the glass below. Then place white concrete on top of the glass. Place white concrete on top of this right white concrete with a glass on the left, with then a white concrete to the left of this. Glass above where we have the stone brick stairs like this, and then simply fill the remaining space on this right side in using white concrete. So that all sounds sort of complicated as I've been saying it, but the end result is rather simple, and we want to do the same thing on the left. So we add a whole row of white concrete across the top here, glass above where there is glass, white concrete all the way around it, then a glass here on the right side, and then populate the remaining area using white concrete. Then we are going to place a layer of crimson fence on top of the red concrete that we have here. Then we are going to grab glow item frames, block of redstone, and above the center of each of the garage doors, we want to place an iron instead of the red concrete with a glow item frame and a block of redstone inside of said glow item frame. So this is the end result. Come all the way over to the right side of the build next to this most rightest garage. Well, what we want to do is place a vertical row of red concrete to create a rectangle. We then want to add a horizontal row of red concrete across the bottom here, with a light grey concrete on the end of each of the next row with a stone button inside, or rather in front of the light grey concrete. Then fill the rest of this area in using red concrete like this. Then we want to locate the space between each of the light grey concretes, which is here. This is the middle row. So 2 blocks on the left, 2 blocks on the right, and place a stone brick in front of this. Then extend the brick down, right, left, and above like so. Then place stone brick stairs in such a way that we form a sort of circle. Then place a beacon on top of this. Then place a black concrete in front of the center. Then we want to place a stone button in front of this, and extend down from this by placing a polished black stone wall. Extend forwards, down, forwards, actually hit the ground, and then place a stone brick wall like this. With this complete, we now want to place a row of terracotta above and inside of the row of the red concrete at the top of this particular part of the build. The row of red terracotta wants to be 1 row shorter on the right side. extend the right side of the red terracotta all the way up to the top so that it just sits underneath the upper part of the build, extend the red terracotta to the left, and then down to form a rectangular shape. We then want to cut this in half vertically, like this, right up the middle, and then place cyan stained glass inside of the two empty spaces. So just here on the left and right will form two rather large long windows. It's time to add some texture to, at the very least, the right side of the build. So I want you to come all the way over to the bottom right hand corner of the empty space that we have. Place a grey terracotta in the corner. Extend up, left, then place red concrete above this, and then place light grey terracotta on top of that. Extend to the left by placing two grey terracotta, down one, left one, like so. We then want to grab red terracotta and place a red terracotta on top of the left side of the grey terracotta and extend left by one. Then we want to place 3 rows of red concrete on top of the light grey terracotta, 1, 2, 3, and then place a row of red terracotta on top of the 3 rows of red. Then on the left side, place 1, 2, 3 red concretes. Then place a grey terracotta, extend left, light grey on top, extend left, come all the way over to the right and place 2 light grey terracottas here in the corner extending inwards, and this is what we want to have so far. Now, if we just fill in all of the space in between this using red terracotta, or rather red concrete, my bad, we don't want to use red terracotta, so we can essentially fill all of the empty space in on kind of like this right half of the build. You should hopefully find that with the additions of these different terracottas, it kind of makes the build look a bit more textured and interesting. Next, come all the way over to the most left garage door. We want to place light grey terracotta on top of the red concrete that corresponds with the 2 upper left hand corner blocks of the garage door. Then place a grey terracotta on top of the left light grey terracotta and extend left by 1. Place a red concrete on top, and then 3 white concrete on top of that. 1, 2, 3. We then want to place a red concrete on top of that and extend right by 1 using white concrete, block of iron, white concrete, red concrete, extend down by 3 using white concrete, 1, 2, 3. Then place a red concrete underneath and extend left using white concrete to form a box. We now want to place cyan stained glass in each of the 4 corners with white concrete in between, just like this. Then we want to place 2 entire rows of red concrete on top of this, so 1, 2, and now we essentially want to do the exact same thing, so we can place a red concrete on the left and right sides of this row, white concrete in the middle. We can then extend 2 rows of 3, 1, 2, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, just up in the corners, then join them together at the top like this, then cyan stained glass in each one of the corners. Oh, we do need a block of iron in the top center space, then white concrete all the way in between, which will give us 2 windows. Now to add a little bit of texture to this side of the build, we want to take the middle block of the lower window on the right side and place a light grey terracotta right of it. Underneath a grey terracotta, dig out the block to the right, place a grey terracotta. Then we want to move upwards, and underneath this red concrete block here, we want to place a light grey terracotta, left 1. Underneath the original block, grey terracotta, extend right 1, like this, and then we're just going to fill the remaining space in this left side in using red concrete. So this is what we have so far. Next, we want to come all the way up to the upper part of the build and extend these top 2 inward corner red concretes backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then drop down and join back to the front of the build. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drop down and then join back to the inward corner of the build here. We can also extend and join both of these together. We also want to place a layer of light grey concrete inside of the top of this rectangular shape. Then on the left and right sides, we want to split the area in half using a horizontal row of red concrete. Then we want to place 2 rows of red concrete underneath the top of this. The left window fill in using cyan stained glass and the right side using stone bricks, and we want to do this on both sides, so horizontal straight up the middle and then red concrete just underneath the top. So we will do this on both sides just like this. Then we want to join both sides together as well using a row of crimson fence, but we want to leave a gap of 1 and then place a fence, gap of 1, place a fence, so every other block essentially. But we want to add another row of crimson fence on top, so this is just going to join both of these sides together, left and right, and this wants to be present on both sides of the build. So if we just extend across the top like this, we have this quite pleasing looking fence design. Then in the middle of the fence on the front of the build, we want to have kind of like a badge and a bell. So I might even grab block of iron because I think this might be good for this as well. So we're going to start off by placing a block of iron underneath the center crimson fence here in front of the build, and we'll extend up, left, right like this. We then want to place upside down quartz stairs inside of the 2 lower corners here with a layer of smooth quartz slab along the top, a bell in front of the center, and that will give us this. Next, we want to come to the upper right side of the build and carve out a row of red concrete from the top, leaving the left and right sides alone. Extend the red concrete all the way over across, like this, and then we want to join it to the front of the build, but 1 row underneath to mirror the opposite side. We now want to start making shapes that will later be filled in, so we want to extend the sticky out red concrete block that we have here backwards and up like this to form a solid shape. What we then want to do is extend the lower part of this red concrete across like this, and this should join here. And then we can add another row of red concrete just underneath, although the thing is the red terracotta is going to extend backwards, like so, and it's actually going to join to another wall. It might be time for us to start adding in the other dimensions of this build. So we're going to start off by extending this red concrete block here backwards by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We can then join it down to the ground, but we also want to extend it inwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then want to join it upwards, and it should hopefully connect to something. It has not connected to anything, but that is perfectly okay because we can just join it to the row of red concrete that we already have. That will be just fine. And we can now extend the red terracotta that we placed earlier. We started extending it backwards, well, we're going to extend it across, and we are going to slot it in to the right. And you should notice that the row of red terracotta here coincides with the red terracotta that we have on the front. So we're going to drop this down, and we are going to leave it to sit inside of this shape here. So we'll extend it towards the inward corner, we'll join it up, we'll also extend it across here on the bottom at the side. We want to have a window on the back that is equivalent to the one on the front, so we will just have this here, and then we're just going to have a row of red concrete that borders around the top of this and will ultimately be filled in. So this might look like a big huge mess right now, and I'll be one of the first ones to admit that, but this will just be filled in later and it will look perfectly lovely. We are now going to come over to the opposite side of the build and start extending backwards from this end. So I want you to take the very first red concrete that we ever placed actually, and extend this backwards by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend to the left by 2. 1, 2. And then back by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend up by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What we are then going to do is extend all the way over to the left. This might take a second, but you should connect to the part that we were previously working on. Good. I'm glad that it actually worked out. Well, coming all the way back over to here, we want to take this inward corner of red concrete here, and this row of red concrete essentially wants to follow the same shape that we have on the front. So, where it kind of like extends out a little bit and then all the way up, this wants to match that shape. So, we're kind of extending the build back in the same shape as we have above. And then when we get to this part right here, these two sticky out rows of red concrete, these will just stick out and join to this upper part. We can then take this corner here, extend it forwards, and this all sounds very complicated, I'm sure, as I'm probably not explaining it that well, but this is how it all just sort of like joined together. And if you want some more lines to kind of like further illustrate how this thing goes, so like this will join and form a roof, this will extend and join into here, which will all be filled in. The what? We need to join the top of this together as well. Maybe we'll extend this. Shall we extend this an additional row backwards or just leave? Actually, this is its own thing. So if we can, how about we do this? There we go, instead. So those two corners kind of like join together, and hopefully this gives you a bit of a better idea. I mean, this is all like minutia, it doesn't matter too much. We should probably fill all this in though, to kind of like just help us visualize the build a little bit better. Yeah, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to fill all of these huge shapes that we have created in using the various materials that we're made out of. Majoritively, this is red concrete, but there are a couple of parts that will be filled in with light grey concrete and also a bit of red terracotta as well, but that's mostly on the opposite side. With all of that complete, we can now move on to the next part. All the way up on the left side of our headquarters, we have a tower. And to make the tower, we do this. So first of all, we have to add an additional row of red concrete on top of what we already have. So just all the way around like this. We're also just going to shave off this row of red concrete that we placed earlier, like that, and also this one. So we want to maintain the same shape that we have before, so just a normal rectangle. And from here, we now want to place a row of red concrete that is above and outside of the top of the front of the tower. And this wants to extend all the way to the back part of the tower, and across and back forwards. So that's why we wanted to get rid of the shape that we had previously, because we want this. It kind of looks like a red Mario pipe. Well, from here, we want to take each one of the 4 corners and raise them up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and you can also connect them together, so that's probably a faster way of doing it than raising them up and then connecting them together individually. With this complete, what we are now going to do, in each one of the 4 faces of the tower, we want to have a vertical row of red concrete on the left and right sides, like this. We're then going to place a row of white concrete all the way around the inside of the remaining space, like so. To which we're then just going to fill in using cyan glass like this, and we're just going to do this on each one of the remaining sides, so however you want to do that is up to you, as long as they all look the same. Now that each one of the 4 sides are the same, we are going to raise up the left and right sides of the tower, extending front to back using red concrete, like this. We're then going to fill the top of the tower in using light grey concrete. And once you've done that, on the front of the tower, along the top, we're going to place a stone brick wall, just like this, a gap of 1 away from the edge, with a block of iron on top, and then a stone button in front, just like so. We could even extend these 1 row forwards, maybe something like that. There's also a similar thing on the right side of the build, so if we take this area in between this window and this doorway, place a stone brick wall, extend forwards, glow item frame in front, black stained glass inside there, then we come all the way over to the right hand side, we move 1 row inwards, stone brick wall, extend forwards, glow item frame with a black stained glass pane in there, then that is another little bit of decoration. So these things range from like speakers to cameras. On this side of the build, we have to add a couple of platforms. So the positioning for the first one lines up with this row of red concrete here. I'm sure that you guys will be able to find it. We'll follow this row all the way horizontally to the back of the build and place a row of 1, 2, 3 red concrete extending outwards from that position. Extend forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, and then fill these rows in using your red concrete. We then want to place a stone brick wall in front of the left and right sides of the platform and drop those down all the way to the ground, like so. Then, leaving a gap of 1 from the bottom, we just want to fill in between these in horizontally like this, and then move up onto the platform itself, which will come to the back, leave a gap of 1, and then we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone brick wall extending all the way up. Notice how that lines up with the top of the back of the headquarters, and then leaving a gap of 1 from the bottom. We want to connect them together, of course, left to right. Then we are going to place red concrete in front of the top of the ladders, and this row of red concrete wants to extend forwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, so it's just clipping into the upper part of this tower here. That's absolutely perfect. Then we want to, grabbing the stone brick wall once more, we want to come and locate the center of this upper window on the front of the build. Well, from this, we, maintaining the center row, come right around to the side, and then hanging directly off of this wall, we're going to leave a gap of 1 and place 2 stone brick wall extending out, a bell at the top, and then from the second wall we want to extend down a row of oak fence. So this is going to look like a rope. So this will come all the way down to the ground. It can either touch the ground or it can just hang 1 row off. I think I'm just going to attach it to the ground. Perfect. With this complete, we are going to work our way up to the right side of our build, and we want to grab first of all the grey concrete. So I want you to locate this row right here on the right side. So this is the row of red concrete before it transitions into the red terracotta. Well, follow this row all the way up to the top, and then on top of the roof place a grey concrete. So this isn't the center point of the roof, but you know, it's close enough. So from here, we're going to extend this grey concrete left 2, right 2, and then we're just going to fill in these rows extending towards the back, like this. You know, what I'm realizing is we actually want to place 2 more rows of grey concrete, and I believe that we can place it perfectly in the center of the roof if we add them here on the right side. So just like this. So 7 rows in total, and then we have it perfectly centered. Well, from this, we want to take the left side and the right side and place a smooth stone slab on top of the front row of grey concrete. Then place a row of 5 orange concrete behind the smooth stone slabs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then place a smooth stone slab extending out from the orange concretes. Then place a polished black stone wall. Actually, we'll go with the stone brick wall on top of the second orange concretes on the left and right side here. Then we're going to join those walls together in between using light grey concrete. Then place 2 light grey concretes on top of the stone wall, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we're going to place a row of light grey concrete that connects together at the top to form kind of like an oval shape, or, you know, as close as you can get to it. Then in front of these light grey concretes, place a layer of light blue or cyan stained glass, whichever one you have handy. We're then going to place a layer of glass in front of the empty space that we have just at the front of our window. Then we want to add 2 additional rows of light grey concrete extending out of the back of the first row of light grey concrete, so just all the way around 2 times like this. Then, similarly to what we did with the window, add a row of form-fitting light grey concrete extending out of the back. Then extend another row of light grey concrete from this position, the upper middle block. Then place a polished black stone wall left and right of it. Then place a block of iron extending out of the light grey with stone buttons either side, with a stone wall on the facing specifically this way on top of the iron block, and an upside down smooth red that's so difficult for me to say. An upside down smooth red sandstone stairs underneath the iron block. So hard to say for me. Then, all the way up at the top of our copter, we are going to place a light grey concrete just right in the middle of this roof section with a smooth red sandstone slab on top of it. And then we're going to place rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smooth quartz slabs extending out from the top of the light grey concrete on every single side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the remaining 2 also. And last but not least, we want to place a set of stairs on the left and right side of the middle of the cabin. So this lines up with the actual blades of the helicopter. So an upside down one on the bottom and then a regular faced one on top. That is absolutely perfect. With the main building complete, it's now time for us to work on the terrain around the actual headquarters. First of all, we are going to extend rows of 11 stone brick slabs outwards from the left of the left garage and the right of the right garage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then from the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In between this area, we are not going to do it now, but I'm going to mark out the area. We are going to fill this in using stone, just good old stone. Now, in front of all of this, I don't actually have it on me because I was going to do it last, but I kind of want to mark it out now. We are going to place a few rows of grey concrete directly in front of the entire build. When I say few, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so leading all the way out from in front of the boundary. I've included these rows in the grid because it gives us room for us to actually place some rescue bots out front here if we do want to, but this actually isn't that important if you don't want to include these rows of grey concrete. It really does kind of depend on where you're going to be building this, but I'm just going to mark these out as I will be placing these myself a little bit later on. So that'll be filled in with stone, that will be filled in with grey concrete. Let's talk about the right side because it is a lot simpler than the left. So on the right side, right next to these stone bricks, we will have 3 rows of light grey concrete forming a path so that we can walk around, right? Well, we also want 3 horizontal rows of light grey concrete extending out to the right, and these will also go all the way around the back of the build. So we'll do the back of the build a little bit later on and we'll connect it all together, but more importantly, we just want to lay the foundation for all of the light grey concrete that will be filled in here. Then there will be 6 rows right of this path, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that will be filled in with just lime terracotta, just like this. And in the middle of all of this, leaving a gap of 2 all the way around, we want to have a bunch of hedge. So as you can see, imagine this is filled in with lime terracotta and then this hedge literally just in the middle. Then we're going to come all the way over to the opposite side and we can do some work over here. So first of all, we want to have the 3 rows of light grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, just left of this pack. And let's just join it all the way over here, right? So just all the way like this. That's perfect. We then want to have the exact same shape that we have over here in terms of the lime terracotta. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of lime terracotta, just like this. And then we just want to extend this left side backwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just join it back to here. And from here, we then want to place oak leaves in the center of this, so this will extend all the way back, just like this, and that should, if we take a little look at it from the sky, should match the opposite side. Okay, well, from this back left corner of lime terracotta, we want to place 2 light grey concrete in the ground, followed by 11 white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll just place these in the ground like so. Then 2 more light grey concrete, 1, 2, and then we want to grab our yellow concrete and place a row of 11 yellow in the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Place it like this. Then we can grab our light grey concrete, and this light grey concrete here is going to be dug from the end of the yellow concrete row. We're going to extend it all the way over to the right side and join it to the row of light grey concrete that we placed earlier. So we can just join it all together like this. And we are just about done drawing lines in the floor, guys. So I think that you'll probably be quite happy about that. I know I am. Drawing more lines. Well, we want to place rows of yellow extending from the ends of this row of yellow. We want to extend all the way out to the boundary, dig forwards, and then connect it to the opposite side. So this is just some sort of indescribable court, and then in front of this, the white concrete area will be a basketball court. But in this side in particular, we want to have a circle directly in the middle. This is a little bit tricky to find, but if you find the center of the rectangle, which you should be able to eyeball, but basically the center of the rectangle will have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks either side, front to back, and on the sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 blocks either side of it like this. Well, stick a light grey concrete in the middle and extend that light grey concrete outwards on every single side like so. Then the straw on the flat sides like this around the square, and then place red concrete in there. And then later on this will be filled in with something else. I might even change it to stone because light grey concrete will fade into the pathway a little bit. But anyway, coming all the way to the basketball court, we want to extend this all the way to the side, and luckily the grid itself is made out of white concrete, so that saves us a little bit bigger. But this will connect to the grid like so. And we want to make 2 hoops / nets, whatever you want to say. So polished black stone wall, smooth quartz slabs, red concrete, cobweb, perfect. And we might also want to grab some like balls and stuff, so like an orange concrete for basketball. If we want to have an indiscriminate ball, maybe we can have like a light blue one for the other area. Plus we're going to make a soccer net or football net, whatever you want to say. But in the center of the court on the left and right side, it should be fairly easy to find in comparison to the middle of that one. We want to place 1, 2, 3 black stone wall on top of each other. So this is on both sides, just make sure 1, 2, 3, this is in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left, and 5 on the right is perfect. Well, on top of this, we want to stick a red concrete and then place smooth quartz left and right of the red concrete across the top, and a cobweb in front of the upper inside black stone wall. So we want to do this on both sides, red concrete, surround it using slabs like this, cobweb in front of the top, and then we can, we can even cut this in half if you like, but I'm actually going to recommend that we don't, and we're just going to stick like an orange concrete just like right in the middle like that. And we'll stick a light blue one over here just to look like a ball of some description. And then finally we have to make a net. So the net is really easy to make as well. Smooth quartz stairs, smooth quartz slab, cobweb, and then let's go with the stone brick wall. Oh, and we'll also grab a ball. So maybe we'll even go for black concrete, and we could always stick like a pressure plate or a carpet on top of it. So maybe, yeah, we'll go with carpet, why not? So the way that this lines up is where we have this red circle here. If we come all the way over to the edge of the boundary, place cobweb corresponding to where we have the red concrete, and then extend left and right with a smooth quartz stairs either side. And then in front of this, we want to have stone brick wall with smooth quartz stairs on top, and then extend cobweb in between these stairs. Then we want to place smooth quartz slabs in front of the top of this, so like this, and then maybe we can even extend the stairs another row forwards like this, and then we have a net, black concrete, white carpet on top. I actually think it looks better as well if we replace the underneath the floating stairs with cobweb. I think that looks a little bit better, and of course do feel free to put more effort into the ball, but you know. Maybe like a white wool or a white concrete surrounded by polished black stone buttons might give a bit more of a better immediate effect. At this point in the tutorial, ladies and gentlemen, we just have a bunch of large areas to fill in with our various materials. This is really easy for me because I have World Edit. Thank you very much. If you guys don't, I'm very sorry, you'll have to do it by hand. First of all, we are going to fill in all of the rows of grey concrete. This is in front of the build. Then the rows in front of the garage doors are going to be replaced with stone. Then on the right side of the build, we are going to set all of the light grey concrete, followed by the area for the hedge. We are going to replace all of that with lime terracotta. We'll do this on the left side as well. And also on the areas left and right of the grassland, we're going to replace those using green terracotta because we don't just want to use bog standard grass. We also have a bunch of lime terracotta extending across the back of the build and to the back of the build on the right side. We can place all of this now because it's just too large rectangular shape. We can also place some of the light grey concrete as well because it's just a huge area across the back. And we'll also extend this to the front as well. And also in between all of the courts. And then for the courts themselves, I'm thinking a material that we just haven't used yet, which is maybe like andesite. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the entire headquarters complete. Hopefully you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.